Hi, I'm Suzanne, and I'm going to show you cat-cow done in a chair. It's a great variation. It doesn't mean if you don't want to get up down on the floor, or if you work in an office, or you just need to stretch out. It's also done in a chair in a lot of chair yoga classes. So just to kind of go through the mechanics here, you're going to want to sit a little bit forward toward the front of the chair. Your knees are over your heels. And think about gravity kind of going through the knees all the way to the heels and starting with the shoulders over the hips. So it's a little bit confusing. A lot of people get confused about how this movement happens. I've seen a lot of different things, like people going back and forth like this, thinking that it's cat, they're getting a movement of cat-cow, and I've seen a lot of people do this and not have anything happen here at the hips. And really the whole, it's a very fundamental movement right here at the hips to allow the pelvis to roll over the femur. So I call this my chair or my couch slumping pose. If you were to, watch TV, you're kind of rolled back onto your sitting bones. And if I brought that with me, I don't even know if I can do this, into a lifted position, you might be sitting something like this, where the belly's rolled back, the chest is dropped. When you can roll the pelvis forward, kind of hinging here, roll the pelvis forward, my whole pelvis rolls, the sitting bones are a little bit further in behind me. When that happens, you'll notice that there's a lift of the chest. The spine has complementary curves. What happens down below is going to affect what happens above. So when you're rolled and round in your low back, the chest collapses. When you're rolled forward, the chest lifts up. And this would be kind of like our neutral sitting posture. You want to be nice and tall and open. So we're going to roll between those two shapes in cat-cow. So I like to start with the cat position. I'm going to roll back, kind of my couch slouching pose. I'm going to drop my head down, my belly pulls back, and you can see my spine makes like a C shape when viewed from the side. Okay, so everything's moving toward the back of the chair. And then I roll the pelvis forward. My pubic bone rolls forward and down between my legs. The hip bones come closer to my thighs and lift up tall through the chest. That's the last of the movement. When I exhale, I roll here, I roll back. You can see my belly slump down, my head's starting to come down, and then I drop my head here, and I'm back into that slouch. Inhaling, I roll my pelvis forward and let that naturally lift my chest up. I can draw my shoulders back to increase the openness across the collarbones. Exhale, I roll back. Inhale, I roll forward. Exhale, I roll back. Now we can add the arms and let the arms help us here. As you inhale, slide your hands back, pull those elbows back as you lift the chest. Kind of squeeze, imagine squeezing an orange between your shoulder blades. And as you exhale, slide the hands over the knees to really open up the back. So it's as wide, like a big cape on your back. Inhale, slide your hands back, lift your chest. Make sure the action's happening from the hips. Exhale, roll back, drop the head. Inhale, roll back, roll up. Exhale, slide through. Good. Inhale, back up to neutral. Just like sitting up nice and tall. Take a breath or two. Just notice how your spine feels moving through those. So practice that. I made another video earlier that it was cat-cow on the floor, and go ahead and play with those too. If you have any back injuries, of course, modify these to be appropriate for your condition. If you have any conditions that you should not be arching your spine, if you have osteoporosis where you need to take a little more care not to injure your ribs, please do modify these poses to be more gentle for you. And but this is really fundamental to getting the movement of the hips, rolling back and forth. In fact, you can just practice doing this and be like 50% of the way there to your full cat-cow. So that's really good to do. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you soon.